The following is a live broadcast of a Lone Star community radio program, recorded and broadcasted live on irlonestar.com, Conroe's FM 104.5, 106.1, and facebook.com/irlonestar. For more information on this show, please visit our show page at irlonestar.com/shows. To sponsor or donate to this program, visit our donate page at irlonestar.com/donate, or email us at lscrstudios@gmail.com, or give us a call at 936-666-1084. Lone Star Community Radio production and broadcast is possible by folks like you. So sponsor and donate today.
You are listening to Lone Star Community Radio on 104.5 KCZW LP Conroe and 106.1 KZCC LP Conroe, and worldwide on irlonestar.com.
Hello, everybody. Welcome. It's Toast to the Town with Chrissy and Mel.
Hold on, we're having technical difficulties.
Good afternoon, everybody. It's Toast to the Town with Chrissy and Mel, and we are here today with a great guest, and it's a beautiful day in downtown Conroe, isn't it?
Mel had a lot of coffee this morning.
Well, no, I'm just panicked because the microphone wasn't on.
Deep breath, deep breath.
Yes.
It is
Okay.
another fabulous Moxie Hump
It
Day
is.
Wednesday.
It is.
Here in downtown Conroe. How beautiful is this weather? It is Chamber of Commerce weather if ever I've seen it.
I know.
They must
It's
have,
awesome.
You know what? God and Mother Nature must have known that we were going to have a very special guest today, so they rolled out
did.
the red
They
carpet of
did.
beautiful weather.
Oh, yes, they did.
Yes, they did. I know, and it's so great. Obviously, lots of crazy stuff going on in the news still, and it just never stops. But what's so great, and you're just to let y'all know what you might be hearing in the background is next door where Branding Iron used to be here.
They're
in
digging
downtown
for
Conroe.
gold.
They're digging for gold, but they are actually doing more work and renovating here in downtown Conroe. More business coming here. It is just a sign of the thriving economic community that we live in. And what a blessing that is in this time.
Absolutely, but it's loud. It's a loud
So it's a
blessing.
little bit loud. So if you hear it, don't get annoyed. Go, hey, that's progress.
Yes.
It's progress.
The sound of progress is
The sound of
positive
progress
thing.
is awesome, and it is just booming and going, and everybody wins. I know, but it is a beautiful day.
That's a little much. But go
I
ahead.
know. So if you're heading out for lunch, make sure that you can listen to us live on Facebook on the Moxie Innovative Facebook page, or you can tune in to irlonestar.com, or we even have a couple of stations on the FM dial.
We do 104.5 and 106.1.
Yes,
Right, Dick?
absolutely. Yes. We are so glad to be here. It's so glad to be back here with Toast the Town at Lone Star Community Radio, who does such an amazing job
They
of
do.
bringing
They're awesome.
live events, local events, wonderful guests and everything. And we're just, again, so proud to be a part of it now that we've been doing this for almost, about 2 years now?
Almost. In
Yeah,
July,
it's
it'll be 2
crazy.
years.
So, but lots of great things coming on.
Yes, it is. Lots of great
Lots of
things.
great things happening.
Calendar's filling up again.
Cal-
It's looking like, normal.
It
normal.
is. It is. And we're not talking new normal. We're just talking
No, we're
normal.
talking normal,
Just
normal. Just normal.
So a few things that we've got coming up. Okay, number one, and we're going to talk a little bit more about this in a little bit, but we're starting to see farmers markets come back all over Montgomery County. We're starting to see movie theaters opening back up. Obviously, Father's Day is this Sunday. There's brunch opportunities at all kinds of amazing local restaurants. Some of them still aren't serving their full menus. So if there's something specific that you're wanting, make sure you call ahead. But you can go out and take Dad out for that great Bloody Mary or mimosa and celebrate Father's Day on Sunday. But before that, so today is Wednesday.
Right.
Because it's hump
Because
day.
it's hump day. It's
That's
our
right.
day. That's our
It
day.
is. And,
That's the
once
Moxie
this show is
day.
over, we are officially over halfway through the week, which is
Right.
always a bonus.
And also, we have to have lunch.
And also we have to have lunch. But going on tomorrow night, I'm so excited. Our wonderful friend Josh Fuller is back to hosting his regular open mic night at the Empty Glass in Tomball. It is
love
so
Josh.
I know, and it's so great to see live music coming back because there are so many amazingly talented artists that we have here in this area that have really been hit hard.
Hey, I want to know, has
coming
he
back.
been writing during all this? Have you talked
Of
to him?
course he has been.
Oh, good.
We're
He's
taking
got
advantage.
New material.
New material. Also going on tomorrow night, Shelter for Shelter, which is an amazing event that benefits the Montgomery County Youth Services, is being hosted by Richmond Realty. That starts at 6:30. Go and Google or Facebook search the event. It's a great event. Raises money to assist youth that are in trouble here in Montgomery County. Always a wonderful event. Also, the Conroe Chamber of Commerce is having their Fun After 5 digital series. So you can go to conroe.org to get all the details on that. If you're looking to start networking, start getting back into the swing of things with business, go check it out. It's all Zoom, but it's worth it. It's a great way to reconnect with folks if you've kind of been out of it for a little bit. Friday night, the amazingly beautiful and talented Bree Bagwell is going to be at Do-Si-Do. So glad to have them back open. You know, such a wonderful live music venue, and obviously I'm such a live music, fanatic.
Nut.
It's
Just go ahead
great
and
to
call it
have
what it
them.
is.
Yeah, great to have them back, and also a great small business in our community that constantly gives back. So
Right.
great to see them back, open and thriving in the community. And then Saturday, our wonderful friend Miss Marilyn Kazmierski, that's over at Family Promise, they are hosting a first national night without a bed to bring awareness to homeless families and children. And it's really cool because you can take it upon yourself to either throw a tent in the backyard or maybe build a fort in the living room or even snuggle up on the couch and then share your experiences online with friends and family of what it's like to not have a bed to sleep in, because there are so many families that are struggling with this. And if you're not familiar with Family Promise of Montgomery County, it is such an amazing organization that finds not only housing, temporary housing for these families, but also helps with job resources, funding resources, medical resources to help these families get back on their feet and have a fresh start. So go check out Family Promise in Montgomery County. Marilyn is fantastic. If you have any questions, give her a call. But consider spending the Saturday night out of your bed. So you can experience what so many other families are having to go through. And then also on Saturday at 9 p.m., my friend, the very talented Cody Hibbard, is going to be at Marshall's Tavern here in Conroe. And so excited to see him. Local talent, just started playing guitar as kind of a pastime. And wow, he's on the fast track to stardom. It's really cool to see him doing so well. So those are some of the biggest events coming. There's more. The calendars are updating every day.
Filling up.
And it's
you
so
guys
wonderful to
send
see
us
that.
notices too, please.
Absolutely.
On our Moxie page, just click the
Yeah, in fact, I think there was
thing.
one. I need to go back and make sure because I think I may have missed one that somebody sent us. But we want to make sure that we're sharing with
checked
everybody.
The one from Jen, if that helps you.
Oh, thank you. But there's so many great things that are coming to Montgomery County because there is life after COVID.
There is.
And there's
And
big
it's a
life
good
after COVID. If you're in Montgomery County, it's a great place to live
Right.
because goodness knows we are blessed and thriving, and that's a wonderful, wonderful thing.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
I'm sorry, my phone beeped and
Sorry.
I was panicked.
I know.
because
My
thought it was doing something.
my soliloquy has now ended.
Okay. Well, what time it? Okay. So let's go ahead and first of all, let's toast the beautiful day and
I
our
know.
good fortune.
It is.
And our guest, who they will all find out about in a
Yes,
minute,
we're going to
'cause
introduce you
excited.
after this break. So if you have any questions about the events we mentioned, I'm going to post them on our Moxie Facebook page, but also check back with us regularly because we're going to be adding things as we go. But we want to take a quick break. We're going to come back. We're very excited to introduce our guest. I think everybody's going to be excited to hear his words. There's your first
His
hint.
words.
And some great updates about living in the amazing place that we call Montgomery County. Remember that you can tune in live and watch video on Moxie Innovative's Facebook page. You can also listen to irlonestar.com, or if you're in the downtown Conroe area, 104.5 or 106.1 on your FM dial. This is
Yes.
Toast of the Town with Christy and Mel. We'll be right back.
Path to the Plate is a research-based education program that helps consumers understand how their food choices impact their health by making the connection to agriculture, learning about how food is grown and produced, and how consumers can make better food choices for themselves and their families. Path to the Plate is all about dispelling myths and misconceptions. Find out more online at pathtotheplate.tamu.edu. We are Texas A&M AgriLife Extension, helping Texans make their lives better.
Lone Star Community Radio is looking for those who are interested in hosting their own talk show with monthly and weekly slots available on Conroe's FM 104.5 and 106.1 and on irlonestar.com. Start your own podcast, create your first YouTube channel, and be on TV. Contact Lone Star Community Radio online at irlonestar.com. or call the station message line at 936-647-3776.
Welcome back, everybody, to Toast of the Town with Christy and Mel. Yay!
Yay!
It's a good day.
Hey, you know what? Let's toast to being Wednesday.
Oh, yeah, let's.
Yes.
And by the way, Judge. By the way, Judge, we have another.
Cheers.
I know.
Cheers. I'm so excited. Cheers.
We are so excited to,
We're
have,
excited to have
Judge
you.
Mark Keough here with us today. Really a friend to everybody in Montgomery County. And if
Really.
if you ever see him out, I think some people get intimidated by your title.
Yes.
And
The judge.
the judge. But you're like one
My
of
wife calls me judge. How intimidating can that be?
your lovely wife, Kim. I miss
She
her.
tells the kids, talk to the judge. Okay.
Yeah, it's
Call the
but
judge.
if you ever see him out and about, take 5 minutes and go up and say
is.
hi
He's so
because he
awesome.
loves to visit with everybody because you just love this community so much.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's a great community.
It
Awesome.
is.
But he's been in service a long time for Montgomery County.
Absolutely.
He was at the state legislature before he was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, but that's what I'm saying.
I
It's
know,
he's a man of the people. He's like
That's
the easiest,
exactly-
most one of the most approachable elected officials, community leaders
is.
that we've had. So,
is.
Well, I
we're
appreciate
blessed.
that.
We're blessed.
I make every effort to do that. I really do tell people, please stop in and have a cup of coffee with me. Now, you may want to call ahead of time to make sure I'm there.
Sure.
You may want to make sure that my schedule is not full.
And you may want to schedule in
But-
some extra time because he's not afraid to talk to you.
No,
There
no,
you go.
he's
So
not.
we're going to sit down, and whatever you want to know about the county, if I can't tell you, my chief of staff or my administrative assistant certainly can. We'll
Yes.
get everybody together.
I know, and it's a wonderful time, and I think such an important time for our elected officials, our community leaders, to be open to that kind of communication because there are so many things going on
Absolutely.
in our local world and the global world today. And so to be able to have that kind of open dialogue is so vitally important.
All people have to do is either pick up the phone or stop by.
Or follow your Facebook page because y'all's updates have been
We
fantastically
we have
informative.
updates every day. Check out our Facebook, Mark Keough, County Judge Mark Keough or Mark Keough County Judge. Either one works. It'll get you there.
Yeah.
And my team is we are constantly putting information on it. I'm getting good, accurate information from them. And if you want to know about various things, just let us know.
Well, that's one of the wonderful things that I've heard throughout the COVID outbreak that started back in March is everybody's buzz is, just go to the county judge's page. They're keeping us updated all the time. If there's new information, they're putting it out there. And it really is so great for that platform to be used as such a reliable source of real, true
Absolutely.
information.
Absolutely. My chief of staff, Jason Millsaps, does an awesome job, who, by the way, is also our director of Homeland Security and
Yes.
Emergency Management, works with Darren Hess, and that whole team down there does fabulous things. And they have access to lots of information, and so we pass that on. It's the community information. It's not my
Yes.
information. It's the community's information. So
Exactly.
we want to be a conduit to get that to you.
Well, and it's all factual. It's not. There's no
To the best of our
spin, there's-
knowledge,
Yes,
you
as
know?
far as you
Absolutely.
know. And
That's right.
And given the sources that you're having to work with, which. And at least you're passing it through so that and I know that Commissioner Nowak has done a good job with sharing those updates as well to make
Christy,
sure.
can I ask you, are you tired of false narratives or
I am
inaccurate narratives?
I'm
I can't
exhausted.
stand it.
I'm exhausted by
I
them.
can't stand half truths. And I'm not, I'm not Mr. Perfect here, but
No.
I will tell you, people want information. They want political officials who would do what they say they're going to
Yes.
do and give you information that they
Yes.
can count on.
You are so
and that
right.
there's not a spin on it. It is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
So let's give the people the truth about this and let's move forward.
Thank you. I totally agree.
That's how we
I
operate.
mean, and I think so many of us, I think when this pandemic craziness started, we were all glued to the news, trying to, what's
Right.
going on, what's going to happen.
Right.
And now I know me as somebody that, considers herself pretty savvy on current events,
Sure.
getting different points of view. I am exhausted with the news. I don't even watch it anymore.
I literally put the television on music.
Alexa has become my best friend in the mornings where it used to be news on, but it's
I thought I was
because
your best friend in the mornings.
We'll talk about that later. But there's those
you
involve
say that?
mimosas.
Okay.
But there are so many. It's just noise.
When I first ran for public office, one of the reasons why I did it was I'd sit in the evening and throw my shoe at the TV. and we got to do something. We have to do something. When the opportunity came up, I jumped on it. I quit throwing my shoe at TV to serve 2 terms in the House of Representatives. But here I am in this county judge. I'm sitting there and throwing my shoe at the TV again.
So let me point out that the judge throws his shoe at the TV in the privacy of his home in complete decorum in his own home.
Doesn't
Throwing
create any
things when you're not in your own house is a problem sometimes.
That's a little bit of a problem.
It is.
You know,
And sometimes you have people that just do
first,
things.
you know, I think of the fact that there are groups in our community that are demonstrating.
Yeah.
That's their First Amendment right.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
The U.S. Constitution, I'm not just talking about Texas,
No,
but
you're-
Texas does too.
yeah, you're
but
exactly
both
right.
constitutions, which I swore to uphold and defend, allow a person to protest in an
Absolutely.
orderly manner.
Yes, which does not include vandalism.
Well, that's right. Throwing a brick through a window or an egg at a car is, or something at someone.
Or spray painting
or
property.
That's
or,
right.
Yes.
That is not First Amendment rights.
No. And
That's nonsense to even think that.
And I think the majority of people all agree with that sentiment. It's always, the smaller group that is creating some of the havoc. That most people disagree with the way they're doing it. It's not that they disagree with the movement or the passion that they're exhibiting, but the way that they go about
Correct.
it absolutely
Correct.
is demonstrative of their character. And
Let me tell you something. In this community, I have been in a number of these protests that have come in our direction. And I have to tell you that the community has operated in order, have done what they said they were going to do. The local law enforcement has worked unbelievably well.
yes.
They are well trained to dial down a situation. We've not had one incident in all of these in the protests that
Yes.
legally they're allowed to do.
And it's been friendly, cooperative protests, arm in arm, supportive of both sides
Right.
of
Right.
the arguments. And
That's right.
and I think Montgomery County and even the city of Conroe have done it so well and have been such an amazing example for how it can be done.
That's right.
To respect law enforcement, respect all segments of culture, race, ethnicity, however
Sure.
in your mind you divide it up. I don't divide it up that way.
Right.
But to see both sides saying, you know what, we're going to support each other because this is our community and it's up to all of us to make it fair and make
That's
it
right.
work. And I think Montgomery County has done an exceptional job of
I agree.
supporting that and demonstrating it to the rest of the world.
That's it. I totally agree. I've watched it. I've seen it. I've talked with all the law enforcement guys, the constables, the sheriff's office, the state police. I mean, they have we've got those guys are around here,
Yes.
and along with our district attorney, and I mean it's been pretty amazing what has been done. Montgomery County is an awesome place.
It
It is
is.
a place where people make measured decisions. I'm so proud of our
I am
county
too.
and how they have self-regulated
So-
and how they want to do the right thing.
Yes.
It's awesome. It's testimony to the county.
Absolutely.
I had a conversation with a guy this morning, and we talked about Montgomery County's reputation in Austin, specifically. Sorry, I know, it's what I do.
I know.
So anyway, and specifically, I said, so what do you feel like our reputation is there right now?
Right.
Because I haven't talked to anybody in Austin in, I don't know, months. Because I haven't talked to anybody in months. But anyway, anyway, and he said, oh my gosh. He said, we are so revered. He said, it's crazy. They think we are awesome. And we all hear this infighting between the Democrats and the Republicans, between the Republicans and the Republicans, between all of the problems that we have here. We are still revered as leaders in the state of Texas. And I think that's,
A testament.
yes.
That's exciting. It really is. And to be a part of all that and
It is.
to
It
push in that direction is excellent. It's
And
outstanding.
I think that deserves a toast to our law enforcement, to our
Absolutely.
community leaders,
By all means.
to our amazing
Cheers.
elected leadership that works
Cheers.
so hard to sustain that environment where people can feel comfortable
Do you know
and
what our
safe
sheriff did
protesting.
yesterday and the guys at the sheriff's office? They had an awards deal yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
People had been here for periods of time, the Compassion Award, the award for the guy that went out there and he toughed it out, took the greatest chance
Mm-hmm.
at most risk of life. And we're giving awards here in Montgomery County
That's
to
what
our
we
sheriff's
do.
office. And other counties around the country
Yes.
are defunding their sheriff's department.
Which is-
Have they lost their minds?
I don't know. And as a family of a retired law enforcement officer, a longtime law enforcement
Yeah.
officer, the rhetoric that is being promulgated through some of these media channels is heartbreaking and frustrating and very discouraging. It's not the case here because we do celebrate
not.
our officers and all of our first responders who put their lives on the line every
Agreed.
day whenever they show up for work. And even when they don't show up for work and they're off duty and they pull over to help somebody that's broken down on the side of the road, which happens every day around here.
Yes, it does.
Because we know the quality of law
Of
enforcement
our
that we have around here.
officers, they're
Yeah.
great. They're great people.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the things too. One of the conversations that we talked about last week is, you're going to have bad eggs in every segment that you try to break down in a civilization, whether it be, by job, by race, by cultural choice, by
Political party.
orientation, by political party. However you want to break
Right,
things down, there's
right.
always going to be somebody there that's going to be a bad apple.
Right.
But we really work very hard, and I think we celebrate all the amazing good apples that we have that far outweigh the bad ones.
Absolutely.
Agreed.
That's
Agreed.
exactly right. Well put.
Thank you. Thank you. I've thought about this a lot. Have you? Can you tell? It's one of those things. I don't try to get involved in too much controversy. I'm not afraid to speak my mind because I feel very confident in my First Amendment right, and I'm very proud to live in the United States and live in the state of Texas and in Montgomery County where I know those rights stand strong. But even if you come out non-controversially and share an opinion, it's amazing what a victim of attack you become. And even when you work to do the greatest good for the people that you represent, that you were elected and put in a position to represent, there's always gonna be that one or two that are gonna come and, put a bruise on the apple.
I've said it like this a number of times. You are a hero, then you're a zero, then you're a hero again, and then you're a zero again, all in the same thread. I mean, it's amazing. But you know what? But people, you just gotta love people.
You just gotta love.
Listen. They're afraid.
Yes.
Okay.
There's
we
so
have
much fear.
We have big shoulders here.
Yeah.
Beat us up, whatever. All you got to do is ask us. We'll tell you exactly the way we think it should be. I got a little frustrated along the way and came out strong, I think, verbally once or twice or a few times. But the fact of the matter is that the object of all of this has been to ensure the public safety,
Yes.
to not lose our identity or our culture in all of
Right.
this.
Or our economic thrive. in
That's
this.
right. And then get back on and move forward as fast as we could. And I think we have done that
I
in
do
this.
too. I
And
do
we
too.
continue to.
Well, and I had a new friend in my life, my new employer, as a matter of fact, had a wonderful take on this, and I thought it was so beautifully put. He said, you can get involved in these attacks, and they can suck you in, and you can be pulled into it. But really, whenever it comes down to it, there's always truth, and truth is always rooted in love. And as long as you love your humankind, you love your neighbors, and you take care of each other, then you can always feel confident and find safety in that truth.
That's right.
So you may have a hanky because you're provocative today at the very least.
It really
and that's
is,
very
but
good.
it's very
It is.
true. I
It
mean,
is.
and as long
It
as
is.
you're, we're all human. We all react some ways that we shouldn't. We all do things that, we make mistakes.
Well,
but,
except for me.
But if we're all well rooted
right.
in our own personal truth and in the love of mankind and taking care of each other, then we really can't go wrong.
We, each of us, well, all of us operate within a set of beliefs.
Mm-hmm.
And I operate within a fixed perspective on things. And my perspective, which I believe is a Christian world and life view. And so I go to, I go to Scripture for information, for wisdom, knowledge. It says that that's where it's at. And there are things that it tells us that are such no-brainers, it's unbelievable. Like, how about this one? There's security in counsel.
Yes.
When we came up with these orders, we just didn't all of a sudden just say, well, we think we're going to do this order. Oh, we saw them down in Harris County do this, so we should do this. That was not the consideration ever. We sat with epidemiologists, Homeland Security, Emergency Management, Sheriff's Office, District Attorney, County Attorney, my administrative assistants, commissioners. I mean,
It's what you thought was the right thing to do.
well, of course.
At the time. Right.
And you operate within the big picture of their security and counsel.
right.
Here are the people available to counsel. Let's get their information, and all looking to me for that decision. And in this decision process, at the end of the day, it's me, the governor, and the president. And just like it is with our other counties, with the judge in Houston, it's her, the governor, and the president. That's the local control that they've given to
Even
us
if we disagree.
constitutionally and statutorily.
Even if we disagree with him.
Yeah, and
Her.
well, you know, and when it comes down to it, when you talk about all this protest stuff, when does a person decide they're going to exercise civil disobedience? Is anybody asking us to do anything immoral or violate our conscience?
Right.
No.
Because we all
No.
have to sleep at night still.
Yeah, that's exactly right. But, you know, we do have our homes, we have our families, we have our community, and we have our culture. We have our culture, which is an economic culture, obviously. So that's all tied into this. So you make the best decisions with the most amount of professional people around you with the information that you have.
So let me ask you something. When you were making this
Yeah.
is just you're sitting in your office
Yeah.
and you're brainstorming and you're like, I have this group over here needs this group
Yeah.
over here needs this. Do you ever single a group out and go, we don't need them?
No, I don't think that's wise. I think that I don't care who you are, even if you're on the wrong side of the
Right.
fence.
Your voice counts.
You can make a contribution, but it's difficult to listen. Please don't misunderstand.
Well, once again, we are all human.
We are all human. It's difficult to listen. But, you know, when I went to the House of Representatives, I faced a lot of heat from some of the people that endorsed me and whatnot because I would look at what a bill was. And I learned in that, is it
You
good?
mean you would actually read the legislation
read
that was
it?
Well,
proposed?
if I didn't read the bill, somebody read it and advised me.
That's what I'm saying. It's
I will say on my
knowledge. Knowledge
committee
is
stuff
power.
I did. There's so many
Yes.
bills you
Right.
can't do it all. We had
Right.
read teams.
Yeah.
And these are the certain things we would operate in. And if it was good for my district, good for the state, and did not violate my conscience, man, put me on the bill. I'll help you.
Let's go.
And it didn't make any
Wait,
difference to me
party
who
didn't
was on
matter?
the other side. Well, it would depend. But most of the time, I got to, I have to, if it's good for the state and good for my district, why aren't I participating in
Okay,
it?
Absolutely.
very good.
And
That was the
supporting
point
that.
I was trying to get
And
at.
so, yeah, and so it's not about gathering with a group of people who are your buds and say, well, I'm only going to go with my buds. No. And this makes people crazy. It makes them crazy.
It does.
Because, you know, it's as if, well, you know, we were behind you, but now you're on that one vote. You didn't vote the way we wanted to. I never agreed to put my brain on the shelf.
Well, and you know, and that's the thing too, because people, I think media has played a part in this, have been conditioned to go through life with these blinders on. And this is what's good, and if you don't fall in this, then you're bad, or you're not my friend, or we can't get along. And that's not truth, because you have to have that ability to compromise and move forward for
Christy,
what
who
matters.
does not want to do business with people they like or people
I
who
know.
support
Everybody,
them?
right,
We all
everybody.
do.
Exactly.
But what is the point at which we get off? That's where it violates our conscience or
Yes.
what they're wanting us to do.
Right.
Most of the time when I would argue with people, either that were supporting me or against me on some of this stuff, I just ask them one question and one question only. Have you read the bill?
Yeah.
100%. Almost always. No. But these people at our think tank or
With
whatever.
preconceived notions
But
and-
I've been supported in my positions and moving forward with some groups here in Montgomery County. They're absolutely awesome. They've done great. They're mad at me sometimes.
You know.
But you know what? We talk, we listen, and you talk about listening to people that may disagree with you. Well, of course. How can you not?
That's right.
Because
Absolutely
whether
right.
you agree with them or not, they are representing a group of people that disagree with you.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, and I have two comments in response to that. The first one is I think it's a great sign of leadership when you're not afraid to surround yourself with people that are subject matter experts and smarter than you in some areas. I think that's a great integral part of effective community leadership. Number two, my mother always taught me, if everybody's always happy with you 100% of the time, you're doing something wrong.
Man, this is true. It's
Yes.
kind of like if somebody always has an answer, they're lying to you somewhere.
Exactly.
Because
You're
we all
exactly right.
can't have all that information. But the other side of that is, I just have always believed I surround myself with the very best people. Look, regardless of who's around me, regardless of what happens, this county elected me as their county judge.
Yes.
And I'm going to be the county judge, and I'm going to surround myself. And I really do believe this. This is nothing noble.
Yes.
I need all the help I can get my hands on. And I'm not afraid to admit it.
See?
But you know, at the same time, there are certain convictions that we have about our community, about home, about family, about the place where we play together, pray together, you know, our church and religious community, and not respecter of one over the other. but this is who we are in Montgomery
Yes.
County.
That's
Those
exactly
are things
right.
are my convictions
That's
that I
exactly
stand on those things.
And that's our character. And I
It
think
is.
and I think this is a great time to take a break. So I know we want to
is.
get into some great specifics about what's going on in this county.
Yeah.
There's new things in the news. There's things evolving all the time. We've got a lot of people tuning in. There's one that I'm going to point out to Judge Keough here in a minute because I think it's really awesome. But if you're still out and about and you're fixing to go grab a bite, make sure that you're tuning in live. We've got some great updates coming to us.
104.5 or 106.1 online, on radio or online at Facebook,
IRLoneStar.com.
IRLoneStar.com, and our Facebook page, Moxie Innovators.
That's right. This is Toast the Town. We'll be right back.
Health Center Southeast Texas is a federally qualified health center. We accept Medicare, Medicaid, and most major private insurances. For our self-pay patients, we have a sliding scale discount program available. Our health centers have qualified providers and staff striving every day to provide the best quality of care to our patients. Services offered are family medicine, behavioral health services, telepsychiatry, and pediatrics. We have 4 area locations. Look up the Health Center Southeast Texas online at hcset.com.
A Lone Star Community Radio is Montgomery County's radio station with talk, music, weather, and traffic for Montgomery County. Have a question or comment about one of our shows? Want to know how to reach a host? Just contact the station at irlonestar.com or call in and leave a message at 936-647-3776. Get involved with your community with the Lone Star Community Radio.
Listen in Mondays at noon to hear Conroe news from local nonprofits, businesses, upcoming events, Conroe Park events, news stories, and information that matters to you with your host, Margie Taylor of Taylorized PR. For more information about being a guest, visit irlonestar.com/Conroe Culture.
For those of you who like your partners, your gumbo, and your music salty, well, we're here to help with the music. Julian Shea here, host of Lone Star Country Nights Thursday, your weekly dose of roots and Americana and all the music that makes this part of the country special. We stir in Western swing, honky-tonk, Zydeco, Texas blues, outlaw country, and put a pinch of red dirt, and then we smoke it over a slow fire. Then listen to the results Thursday nights on Conroe's 104.5 and 106.1 and worldwide at irlonestar.com.
What can the Better Living for Texans program do for you? You can learn how to increase your consumption of fruits and vegetables, choose foods that are relatively inexpensive and good to eat, make your food dollars last longer, prepare quick, nutritious meals, help your children learn how to eat healthier snacks, and much more. Our program is committed to helping people like you improve your health through providing research-based nutrition education in a friendly, cost-free, and relaxed environment. We are Texas A&M AgriLife Extension, helping Texans make their lives better.
Welcome back, everybody, to Toast to the Town with Christy and Mel. We are here today on a wonderful Wednesday, and we are past the hump, so we
We are officially on the downhill
side
slide
of the
to the
week.
weekend.
That's right. That's absolutely right.
And we are so excited to have County Judge Mark Keough here with us.
We are.
And I want to give a special shout out to my friend Carrie Jackson Covington, who sent us a great message that said that Judge Keough was her Sunday school teacher years ago
Isn't that
at the Woodlands
awesome?
Church, and I think that's so amazing.
That is remarkable.
Isn't that
That's
awesome?
Yeah.
And you would remember Carrie. She is a firecracker and a half, and one of the sweetest, kindest people I've ever met. And haven't seen her in a while, so now we've got something new to talk about. Hopefully soon. And but anyway, it just goes to I don't know, testify once again to your character and how long you've been giving back to this community.
Super.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're
That's
welcome.
awesome.
Thank
That's awesome
you.
to hear.
And we're so glad to have you here because
We are.
we know number one that you're a very, very busy guy because there's one thing you did not get during the COVID pandemic, and that would be a break.
Yes, you did.
I had a lot going on
Yes.
from the very beginning.
Yes.
And but these are pretty unbelievable times.
It is. Unprecedented.
We know the numbers. I have to tell you, they've kind of been up and down throughout this whole series of events. But we have been seeing the numbers that I look at daily is how many active cases of COVID do we have? How many are in the hospital? and how many have been sent to self-isolation at home? Those are the three things that we look at. Certainly we look at deaths, and our heart breaks for all of those people. There's 33 deaths now that we've had here in Montgomery County. But the most current numbers as of yesterday, total active cases is 538. Active for the county.
And these are just active. That's not necessarily showing symptoms. That's not
So
necessarily
they've been tested,
tested
and
at positive.
these are ones that they have been. It's been positive, but they're of Montgomery County residents. They're out of all of our 600,000 plus people, 7 people are in the hospital. 531 are at the house.
Yeah.
Self-isolated.
I think that's very telling.
Well, it is telling in that, don't forget, you got 98.5 to 99% of the people who acquire this disease recover.
Yes.
So we have a lot of recovery going on. I will say, though, as I recently, today, I even talked to one of the hospital administrators here locally, and we are seeing a spike. And it's happening kind of around us, so that they are sending their patients to our area. We're going to get the exacts tomorrow, but you can see it spiking up a little bit, whether it's from Memorial Day or whatever the case may be. But the fact of the matter is that we knew this because a couple of things have happened, just like the governor talked about yesterday. You know, we've increased testing like you wouldn't
That
believe.
was going to be my point. There are more tests, therefore there are going to be more positives.
But during this almost 90 days, we had 26 testing locations here in Montgomery County. 26.
Really?
That's right.
26.
That's right. All you had to do is demonstrate that you had some type
symptom.
of
Some
symptom.
symptom,
That's
right,
right. And then you could be tested. And so we kind of it's kind of like the free market. We kind of let it happen.
Right.
People know that they can do it. We went ahead and we, through monies that we received from the federal government, we produced vouchers now where anybody in Montgomery County can go get a free test.
Oh, wow.
That is phenomenal.
But in doing that, though, of the original, I think, 13 to 14,000, or no, 12,000 vouchers, I think is what it was, we still have over 11,000 vouchers left. It's not like people are scrambling to go get a test. So even at that, the numbers in the hospitals is what we're watching most of all because we don't want to be overrun.
Sure.
But they've been very consistent. Up to this point, when I came out with my initial order on the 27th of March, and then I shut that order down on the 17th of April. And the reason that we operated within those numbers, it was about 2.5, almost 3 week period, was because I, again, continued to watch the numbers. And what were they? How many people in the hospital? How many people at the house?
Right.
And it was pretty much a 10% in the hospital, 90%. Sometimes it would shift to 8 to 92% at the house or whatever. I'm sitting there and I keep watching this and watching this and watching this until finally we said, no, we've gotten on. We have operated according to what they have asked us to do. We've listened to the governor. We've listened to the president. I mean, when the president jumped from $9 billion aid to $50 billion aid, $220 billion in small business help at this time, he's sending a hospital ship to New York, a hospital ship to California, and we're sitting here in little old Montgomery County going, we're just going to say no. Somebody's onto something here.
Right.
It's a much bigger picture. All of our health officials are telling us these things.
Right.
These are the projections. So let's do what we think we need to do. And we did. I believe it stemmed the tide of a lot of trouble. But even at the end of the day, when we got under the governor's order, we watched the numbers consistently. We could already begin to see them kind of drop. And it's been kind of all over. It's been up and down, up, down, up, down. And I believe some of the healthiest things that we can do certainly is to do some social distancing. We know that there is the attraction of these things, these bacteria or virus in the air that we communicate through talking, but we got some social distancing going on here. We are washing our hands, just basic hygiene stuff.
Yes.
It is amazing. You know, we meet in our church. I have bottles of hand sanitizer. I tell everybody as we begin in church, you really have to see this. And I show, okay, here's how we use this. Because we couldn't get sanitizer with a sprayer. So I drilled holes in the caps on the top, do a little squeeze, put it out. As I'm talking to people,
The man of innovation.
I pour the hand sanitizer, and we're all talking and we're doing our hand sanitizer. We're being very careful.
Yes.
So we can do this. Let me tell you what's going on in Montgomery County economically is even during this entire time, during this time. We're still signing plats for development. I mean, the commissioner's courts, we still met.
We hear it going on.
We sign the plats. You hear what's going on behind us here, the construction that's taking place.
Yes.
How about the permits
That are still
being
coming in.
issued? That's right.
Yes.
And, part of this whole deal in getting through this is a positive mental attitude.
Yes.
As a community that we are here, we're going to stay here. This is what we believe. We're moving forward, and we are not looking back.
Well, and
with caution.
And there are so many aspects to the vitality of a community. It's not just one thing or another. I mean, yes, health, public safety, obviously
That's
that
right.
matters. But so does the economic health of a community, because otherwise we're all going to be in trouble in ways that it's going to take a very long time to recover from. So I think that's one of the things that Montgomery County and the state of Texas both have done so well, is paying attention to that while taking everything else into consideration.
Absolutely.
And and I know that I thank you, because I've seen the permits, I see the growth, I see, not too long ago we had a press release from the city of Conroe that they just signed a deal and just approved a plat for another 12,000 homes being built just in the city of Conroe.
In the city.
And
in
it's
the city limits.
and it is amazing the vitality that's still here, and I think that's the part of the resiliency of Montgomery Countyans, Conroians. Did we make a decision?
Conroeites.
Conroeites. And Texans in general.
Conroians.
And
We're
Texans.
going with
Sounds like a
Conroeites.
planet.
We've been saying Conroeites since, I don't know, third or fourth grade, so I'm going with that.
But and Texans in general, that look, we're going to take care of our neighbors. We're going to do what's socially responsible, but we're also believe in the livelihood of our economy, and we're going to take care of that, because we know that that's what helps us thrive, not only as individuals and families, but also as communities.
And that's the key.
It's a balance.
Exactly.
And and for what y'all have had to endure, it's hindsight is more than 2020, because everybody can say, oh well, if I was in office, I'd have done this, or I would have. But having to take this amazing cloud of data from so many different sources and pull out and extract the truth and come up and formulate a plan that works for the best for everyone involved. I can't imagine how many sleepless nights you've had since March. Coming to that.
It's really funny that how you kind of put that, because I have to tell you, different people have different abilities.
Yes.
And I believe God created us to fulfill the purpose for which He has created our abilities.
Agreed.
And so this is, I believe for me personally, that this is what I'm supposed to be doing at this time in my life. I love what I do. The challenges, listen, it'll make you crazy
Yeah.
sometimes, but at the same
Yeah,
time.
you have to listen to the news. I don't have to.
But these are human beings.
Yeah. Yeah. Fundamentally,
They're human beings, and they're afraid.
yes.
And they're seeing everything fall apart all around them. They turn on TV and they see the USA burning. What do?
Yeah.
You listen, you love on them, you help them, but you don't sacrifice your course. You hold your values, and people will follow that.
Yes.
Because when a police department abandons its offices, its precincts, its cars, are you kidding me?
It
You know what
is-
that tells me is that the set of values that they hold are not solid. That would never happen with our sheriff's department or our constables or our state police here in the state of Texas. I can tell you in Montgomery County. And what I saw yesterday at those awards that they were giving to all of our sheriff's office, it was awesome. And you know what I thought? They're defunding all these other places.
Right.
And we're sitting here giving awards to our
And
guys.
not only that, but look at our other local heroes. You've got Joe Halidi over here at Joe's Italian.
He got an award yesterday.
I know. And how much has he given back to this community in a time where his restaurant was essentially shut down?
Speaking of which, he'll be a guest on our show
Yes,
next
he will
week.
very soon. And
He's
but
pretty awesome.
but
Yeah,
for
he is.
but a local small business owner who has
Right.
been affected by everything to say, you know what, I'm going to take it out of my pocket to give back and reward and say thank you to
To the
our
people who've
leadership,
helped us,
to
who've
our
taken care of us.
teachers, to our law
Right.
enforcement officers. And
Medical staff.
And I think that's what's missing in so many places where we're seeing this defunding. We have small business owners that are still negatively affected, that are still saying, hey, you know what? I'm still going to give back because I know how blessed I am to live in this community and to have the leadership that I do.
Have a thankful spirit and do the right thing.
That's it.
You want to hear something? A guy who prays for me every day, he sent this to me. And it says, "For this is the will of God. Do what is right. so that you may put to silence the ignorance of foolish men.
Ooh.
By just doing 1 Peter 2:15, look it up for yourself. For this is the will of God. And then it says, in everything give thanks, for this is God's will for you in Christ Jesus. Whatsoever things are good, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are of good report. Think on these things. Stop being negative with each other and beating each other up all the time. I am amazed at the conservative community that spends all their time beating up on other people who are conservatives.
I agree.
It's remarkable to me. And yet we see the enemy right in front of us and don't say a word while we go after people that are doing everything they can to serve and to follow the things that are right.
I know.
And so you just say, well, you know, they're just human like everybody else. You just got to love on them where they are, and that's what we do. But the fact of the matter is, I believe that our county is already, but even has the opportunity to become even a greater regional champion for the values that we hold as Texans, and the values that we hold as a community of home and family and our religious convictions, of which there are different religions here in our community, and we do not respect one over the other per our Constitution.
Well, and I will say
but I
that
got to tell you, we have these beliefs.
And as a community, we're so welcoming to other points of view. You know, we have really become and transformed being, you know, the fastest growing city in the nation, you know, the fastest growing county being just north of Harris County, and everybody's flocking here because of our economic stability and our growth and all these wonderful things. Our quality of life is amazing. People want to be here. But part of why people want to be here is because, largely speaking, we're a very welcoming community. It's just it's part of our character.
Yeah.
And we want to learn, and we want to support, and we want to embrace and thrive and do well, all of us together as a community. And I think it takes that common mentality. Number one, truth is rooted in love. And number two, that we can do this together, and there's always a middle ground. It's time for people to start looking on the bright side of things.
You know, that's, and Mel, you can appreciate this. We've talked about this in the past. But I have to tell you, the group that I work with in the commissioners' courts, our commissioners are awesome.
They are amazing.
Yeah, they are.
And different backgrounds, different,
Sure.
yes.
They have different backgrounds. They are intensely loyal to their people. I'm telling you.
They are.
They are.
As they should be.
I learned early on, hey, Keough, stay in your own lane. Everything is in transportation language because that's what they do.
Yes.
It's all about roads and bridges and keeping the traffic moving and whatnot. And I have to tell you, they are awesome. All of them. I mean, and each one of them is uniquely gifted. And it's been a tremendous opportunity to be a part of that and to lead that and to get everybody moving in the right direction. And it's the greatest honor of my life to serve Montgomery County, the birthplace of the Texas flag.
Yes. And how blessed we are to
How
have
cool
the
is that,
leadership
huh?
that we have, and to see commissioners stepping forward and saying, hey, these are your taxpayer dollars. We want to give it back to you. Or, you know what, we're still going to move forward with road construction during all of this because, number one, it helps our infrastructure. Number two, we're taking advantage of fewer cars on the road. Number three, we're going to be fiscally conservative and responsible doing it all at the same time. It's so great, and still hard at work, and still coming together, and still making decisions that are going to take care of everybody in this community, not one segment or another, or even one area or another.
That's exactly right. It's pretty awesome.
So do you have anything coming up that we need to talk about?
Well, you know, there's always, every day is a new series of events, let me tell you. I tell, she said, how'd your day go? Are you going to have a hard day today? I said, no, today's going to be awesome. Now, I won't be home till midnight tonight. But
we need to have Kim over and have lunch with Kim.
We absolutely, because she's going to give us the backstory. She's going to show us the true side of him
Exactly.
throwing
Chase,
the shoe
if you're
at the
listening
TV.
to this, don't tell Kim.
We love Kim. Kim is awesome.
No, she's awesome.
Yeah.
Kim is.
And so wonderfully supportive.
We love her.
She is
She's
my
just
best
awesome.
friend every evening, without question. I sit down with my wife and we talk. I don't care if I get in at 11 o'clock, whether I get in at 4 in the afternoon. And we sit and we talk. We talk about the day.
The best
You know?
stories I've heard are the Mark and Kim stories. I swear, the best
Well,
stories.
you
of
know
life.
what? And Kim, and most people when
I
they
mean,
meet
from
Kim,
getting locked outside of hotel rooms.
Oh my goodness, on the
to
second
all
floor.
kinds of stuff.
well, you know what's so funny? Because you meet Kim and she's so poised and quiet and graceful.
Quiet, graceful.
But
yes.
she has this brilliant mind.
Oh, yeah.
And she's not afraid to share
Sharp
it.
and smart.
But she's also she's that woman of grace that I just respect so much because she's okay. She doesn't need the spotlight because she knows who she is as a woman.
Yes.
And how y'all respect each other both professionally and on an intellectual level is really profound.
And personal.
And it's so great. But she is such a remarkable woman. I
She
think
is.
most people don't even get to see that
I
side of her.
I know.
But
because
she is
she's just-
amazing.
she's always
She's a hoot, man. Let me tell you.
How lucky you are.
I
You're a
am.
lucky
That's just,
guy.
that's
You
just
are a
God.
lucky
God,
guy.
listen, that's just
Exactly.
God. I'll tell you, I'm not smart enough, for something like that. But she's been
You're
awesome,
living right. You're
and
living
with the
right.
kids, and she's been fabulous.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
anyway,
I know that speaking as not only somebody that is a small business owner here in the area, but also somebody that's a voter, that's somebody who has been scared and has been affected very negatively, but also positively in all of this craziness. Thank you for your leadership
Yes.
and what you've done.
do we have time for just a couple
Absolutely,
statements?
please.
I want to encourage people who are listening today. If there are orders that have been sent to us by our governor,
Right.
and that tell us the boundaries that we can go to.
Right.
And many of those orders are very open orders. They're not specifics. But what we hear many times when we're watching a press conference, we hear what they're saying, and then we just forget about what they wrote.
Oh, right.
But you know what, at the end of the day, it's what's on paper that counts. I can't tell you how many businesses during this time, I'm just talking people off the ledge at 2 o'clock in the morning when they're thinking they couldn't do business, and I would show them from what what CISA, C-I-S-A, the CISA regulations and the CDC regulations, and how they, by what they did, were an essential business, how they could remain open. And let's come up with a plan. If anybody gives you a hard time, tell them to call the county judge. I just read to you because we were aware of what was in these orders.
Right.
And the small business guy that is too busy to read the order has got a problem.
And try to decipher it.
That's right, because there are and other people, because they're not reading the orders, they're picking up the telephone and they're tattletaling on somebody who is perfectly within
The parameters.
their parameters
Right.
of what they need to do.
Yeah.
And our entrepreneurs, which are working next door, you gotta love it.
Woo, gotta love small
Our
business.
entrepreneurs are smart.
Yes.
And so many, if they'll just take a little bit of time and just even glance over it, you'll see there's so many opportunities. And this whole thing is I just believe in every difficult situation, there are always opportunities.
There are always
And
blessings.
Joe, the pizza guy,
Yes.
is a perfect example
He is
of
awesome.
taking and making chicken out of feathers.
Yes.
And taking a bad deal and turning it into something exciting. And it's been amazing what he's done.
I know, and there
so it can be done.
And there are blessings in everything, and there have been a lot of blessings during this whole situation too, that I think most people need to start attaching themselves to, and part of that is because we are so blessed with amazing leadership here in Montgomery County.
are.
So thank you.
Yes.
Toast to you.
Guys, thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
County.
Always love it when we have an opportunity to do this.
Always. And I,
Cheers
and
to
I
y'all.
really want to have. I think we want to have you back
Oh, my
in the
goodness.
coming weeks, so that we can revisit, because there's more stuff.
Yeah.
Things are constantly changing. And
We will stay in touch.
And absolutely make sure that you are liking and following Judge Keough's Facebook page so you're up to date
Yes.
on all the updates that are going on. Also, make sure you're liking and following the Moxie Innovative Facebook page, because we constantly have updates that are coming out. We're going to get better at that.
Yeah, we are.
Yes.
And we love y'all.
Yes,
We do.
absolutely. So make it a great week. Happy Hump Day.
Happy Hump
We'll see
Day.
you next Wednesday at noon for Toast of the Town with Christy and Mel. Take care of yourselves.
Today's show was recorded and broadcasted live on irlonestar.com, Conroe's FM 104.5, 106.1, and all rights and ownership are reserved to Lone Star Community Radio. For more information regarding this program and Lone Star Community Radio, visit us online at irlonestar.com. Lone Star Community Radio is Montgomery County's community radio station, serving the community with local programming on TV, radio, and online. If you enjoyed today's program, please support us by sponsorship or starting your own show. Contact us today by phone or text at 936-666-1084 or email the station at lscrstudios@gmail.com.